Welcome back to another episode of the Spirit of Spaces podcast. I'm so happy that you are tuning in once again to connect with the spirit of your space. Before we dive into today's episode, I invite you to take a deep breath. And as you exhale, just allow that breath to come through the central channel of your body and reach the earth through the soles of your feet as we start to enter through the front door of your home today, the portal, the threshold in Feng Shui, otherwise known as the mouth of Qi. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking you through why the front entrance to your home or workspace is so important and how you can actually start to tend to that space and activate that space to bring in more currency, more flow, more chi, and more opportunities into your life. So many traditions, if you think about it, the threshold is where one world ends and another begins. And I always explain to my clients that the front door is like a portal. It's where you leave the outside world, it's where you leave behind your day, all the places that you've traveled to, all the places that you've been, and you are crossing a threshold into another world, into your living temple, into your sacred sanctuary. And so your front door is not just an entrance, it really is a transition point between the outside world and where you've been and what you're leaving behind and into your living temple. So I always encourage clients to actually give gratitude to the entranceway of their home. So I encourage you to do the same before you even unlock your front door. Just pause. Take a deep conscious breath like we just did together and step over that threshold with intention. Ask yourself, what energy am I bringing into my home today? If you are in the midst of an identity shift, if you are on the precipice, if you are on that threshold yourself in your life, you are going to be asking yourself the same questions. Who am I becoming? What version of myself do I need to let go of and leave outside that door so that I can come into my living temple, my home, my body, my soul, my essence, and my actual living temple, my space, so that I can become that version of myself. So I can leave behind that outgrown, outdated version and bring in that capacity for expansion and growth and becoming that new version of yourself. And so it's the same with your front door. You're asking, what energy can I bring into my home today? What do I want to leave behind? What am I leaving outside of my home? What do I not want to bring into this new version of myself? Because if your home or your space is a reflection of who you are becoming, which it is, because you're not separate, those two things, your home and you're very intertwined, then you want to be leaving behind those parts of yourself that are no longer serving the person that you are becoming, the version of self that you are becoming. And it's the same with your home, leaving outside that front door anything that you don't want to bring into your home. It's the same with the people that you let into your space. Who do you want to be letting to cross that threshold? Whose energy do you want in your home? Because you wouldn't just invite anybody into your space. You wouldn't allow anyone that you don't know across your threshold and into your space because you don't know what energy they are bringing into your home. You don't know what energy they're bringing into your space. So you want to be really intentional with that and really mindful of that. So there are certain things that you can do according to feng shui to make that threshold, that front door entrance, more of a sacred threshold, a portal for you to wish for you to step through. Now, if you think about it, as if the front door is the mouth of chi, this is like the door to your world, right? The door to your home. And chi or energy follows the path of least resistance. So if your entrance is hidden behind, overgrown plants or bins or anything that is broken, like walls or gates or parked vehicles or plants that are dead, chi then has to actually work harder to reach your home. So you actually want to keep this entrance as clear and energetically clean as you possibly can. So when you walk to your front door as though you've never visited it before, just ask yourself, is the entrance obvious? Is it inviting? Does it feel safe? Does it naturally draw me in? And if not, you need to simplify it. Okay, what can you actually get rid of or clear away or shift in that space to make it more available for the chi to find your door? So, for example, for me, I live in a terraced house on a street. It's not ideal because I have a not a main road, but a fairly busy road outside my front entrance. Now, in the terraced houses where we live, the bins, everybody has their bins in the front garden because we put the bins out once a week and the bin men come and collect the bins. Now, I was feeling really icky about having my bins in the front entrance. And luckily for me, I have an alley, like a pathway at the back of my house where I actually move the bins to. So I don't need to see my bins in my front garden anymore because I found it, first of all, really unsightly. And secondly, it was taking up a lot of space. And thirdly, it just felt like, why would I want to have rubbish outside the entrance to my house? I'm accumulating all of my garbage and all of my rubbish and all of my trash. Why do I want that at the entrance to my house? So I put it at the back of the house. It's not even actually next to my house. I moved it like away and opposite. So it's not, the rubbish is not even connected to my house anymore. And I will tell you that since I've done that, I've had a lot more opportunities and clients coming through. I've had a lot more interest. My creativity is much more on point. I'm creating more content. I'm getting clearer and clearer about my business. So actually, it's been a really beautiful move because I've removed like any muddiness or kind of rubbish literally out of my way to step into the version of myself I'm becoming as a successful business owner, a successful feng shui consultant or fairy godmother, as you know, I like to call myself because I come in with my magic and I whip your house into shape, energetically speaking. I want to, I want the world to know that space healing and connecting to the spirits of your space is one of the most important things you can ever do in your life to shift your identity, to up level your life, to up level your business, to call in your clients, opportunities, business, money, prosperity, wealth, love, all of the things that we want in our life that make life worth living. And so I actually moved my bins. I make sure that my plants are watered. I make sure they're fed. I make sure that nothing is broken out there. I de-weed where I can. I'm having someone to come and fix the wall where my fence is. I'm having someone to come and lay some tiles on my front path so that it looks like a more beautiful entrance. Now, even estate agents would say this is curb appeal, right? You've probably heard of that phrase, curb appeal. When you're trying to sell your house, this is especially important if you're looking to sell your house. Because if you want someone to walk past your house and see that house for the first time, think about it, it's the first impression that they see is the entranceway to your home. So if that is their first impression and you've got bins and broken plant pots and weeds growing and it just looks grubby, they can not only see that, but they can feel that. And that does make a huge difference. So even estate agents talk about curb appeal. And this is really, really important as part of the energy of your front entrance, right? This threshold, if you're inviting somebody else into your space that might potentially live in your space or buy your space or even rent your space, this is going to be really, really important. So I've already mentioned about removing physical clutter. Now, this doesn't just apply to the outside of the house, this applies behind the front door. So imagine now you've crossed the threshold, you're in your home. Maybe you have a porch, maybe you have a hallway, maybe it just leads straight into the lounge. Either way, you want to keep that entrance, that hallway, that entranceway as clear as possible so that when you are walking across the threshold and into your home, it feels nourishing, it feels welcoming, it feels safe, it feels grounded, it feels like, I've come home. So if there are shoes piled high or packages or letters that you haven't opened or umbrellas not in their place or broken pots or plants that are dead, again, these create stagnant chi before you've even entered. So you really want to create an entrance that feels spacious, that feels calm, that feels easy to move through. Because if you feel that sense of ease, then so does the chi and so does the energy. I have worked with quite a number of clients now on my energy space clearing sessions, my psychic home healing sessions. They're called Radiance Reset. I've worked with quite a number of clients that before we even get into the entrance of their home, we can feel the stuck energy outside their front door, either from things that are blocking it physically, like I've already explained, or energetically from energetic residue from people that lived there before them, where it's left an imprint, or a blockage to their own visibility or a blockage to their own connection to a deeper love, or a blockage to their financial prosperity. And this is more of an energetic thing. Potentially there's a spirit lingering there. Potentially there's residue from somebody who lived there before you. Potentially it's like for as an example, I worked with somebody who felt like a lot of like black threatening energy outside their front door, and it turns out that she was renting this property and the landlady would just turn up unannounced quite often, and it made her feel really threatened and uneasy. And so I had to clear a lot of energy outside the front entrance from the energy of the landlady, because it was her energy that was lingering in that space, making my client feel very uneasy to walk through the front door to her house. And as soon as I cleared the energy of that landlady, she said to me, well, I instantly feel lighter. Instantly feels more welcoming. Like I'm able to walk through the front door and not feel that like heart palpitation in my body and that anxiety. And so not only is it on a physical level, it's on an energetic and spiritual level too. In classical feng shui, maintenance obviously matters. So pay attention to any loose door handles, broken locks. You know, if your key's not going into your lock properly, get that sorted. Any peeling paint or cracked paving. Potentially you've got like flickering lights in there, or squeaky hinges, or doorbells that don't work. All of these little small details might be influencing the quality of the chi that is entering your home, and therefore blocking the quality of the vitality, the energy, the life force energy that's flowing through your home, your living temple, and therefore through your body living temple as well. And that, of course, can block opportunities, finance, creativity, love. So all of this energy that you're feeling just even at your front door, at the threshold, it's such a metaphor for the threshold that you are crossing in your own life. Or where are you blocking yourself? Where are you holding yourself back? Where are you overcomplicating it? Where are you keeping too much and not letting go of those things that are no longer serving you? The next thing that I would say to you is it's really important to invite light. So chi thrives in like very welcoming environments. So if your entranceway feels dark, which a lot of my clients have reported to me, theirs does, both energetically and physically dark, then this again is blocking that light from coming in. It's blocking the chi from coming in. It's blocking opportunities, people, helpful people, visibility, you stepping into the spotlight. It's being blocked instantly. So really highly recommend you to clean your windows, replace any bulbs that are flickering or broken or dim, trim back any kind of, big plants that are blocking natural light. If you've got ivy or wisteria, or I know it's beautiful and it looks incredible and I love having that outside the front of the house. But if it's blocking your natural light, you definitely want to trim that back. And also don't forget, in order for plants to grow, and just like a human, we have to trim away the old, we have to let go of that old to cross that threshold into the new and bring in more expansion. And then keeping the porch well lit in the evening. Really beautiful to have a nice lamp in there, or just some kind of nice light that feels welcoming. I would really recommend that if you can't open your front door fully, because it's blocked by like a shoe rack or some kind of furniture or shelving or bags or boxes or piles of packages or anything like that, you really want to make sure that it's got the full ability to be opened, because a door that opens freely also will symbolize opportunities flowing freely, right? You want to make it as easy as possible for the chi to come into your house, for the opportunities to come into your life, for the money, prosperity, love, abundance, joy, all of the juicy things that make life worth living. We want to invite that into our space. So you don't want to put anything that's going to hinder that, or sabotage it in any way. Same as for you in your life. And you want to create a feeling of arrival. Now imagine like you are crossing that threshold from this version of yourself, and you're crossing the bridge over into this new version of yourself. Now when you arrive, maybe it's just in your vision right now, you're like, yeah, I want to become the woman who only works part-time, and I want to earn X amount of money, and I want to be more present with my kids, and I want to have more fun with my partner, or I want to call in a partner, I want to have more time for travel, I want to enjoy my life more, do the things that light me up, be more creative, connect more with sisterhood. All of those things that are in your vision, if you have something blocking you from getting from A to B across that bridge, and then you arrive in that vision and it's not very welcoming, you're going to be like, well, why have I done all this work to cross the bridge and shift my identity if where I'm going is not actually welcoming me in? It's the same with your home and the front door. You want to create an experience, right? As you like a feeling of arrival, a feeling of welcoming. Fresh flowers, healthy plants, natural materials, a clean doormat. I often recommend to people to have a doormat that said something welcoming, like "you are welcome here" or "love lives here." I know it sounds a bit cheesy and a bit cringy, but those words of affirmation really do mean something. And when you see that, when you cross your front door, the threshold, and you see like "you're welcome here," and you're like, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, I feel welcome. This is my living temple. This is my home, my sanctuary. I feel welcome. And therefore, I'm welcoming opportunities. And I'm welcoming the right people to cross my threshold. And I'm welcoming prosperity and wealth and finance and abundance and love and joy and creativity and all the good, juicy stuff. It's just, ask yourself the question, how do I want people and myself to feel as I enter? I had a energy space clearing session with a client recently who was struggling to feel visible in her business. And before we even got to her front entrance, the pathway up to her house, like there was a blockage on her pathway. And she saw it as this, like a spirit guardian of like a rose bush. And I said to her, like, is the rose bush really there, or is it just a representation of where you've been protecting yourself from being seen, from being visible? And she really felt it on like an energetic visceral level in her body, that the rose bush was actually stopping her from the next level of her visibility in her business because of the thorniness of the rose. And so I sang her a rose medicine song. I cleared the space, and she actually started to cry, and she said, "Oh my goodness, I feel for the first time like I can be visible in my business. I feel for the first time I can fully start to open up into my feminine." And that's the medicine of the rose. You see, that's the spirit of the rose, because everything holds a spirit, especially plants. Our plant allies hold a lot of spirit for us, as do the elements in Feng Shui: earth, water, metal, wood, and fire. And so when I cleared that for her and she suddenly felt like she could be visible, she actually launched a challenge the following week and had people sign up for it. And she was just like, well, yeah, I finally feel visible. I finally feel able to put myself out there in my business and do what I came here to do. And that is the power of tuning into the energy of your home. Even before we get to the front door, it often happens in my client sessions that before we even get to the front door, there is something there that wants to be addressed and witnessed and looked at and cleared so that we can bring in more opportunity. That's in my Radiance Reset energy space clearing sessions, but also in my Flying Stars Feng Shui reports, I can see from the front of your home what is going on, and I can give you recommendations based on that. Clearing the energy regularly is also really important, not just physical cleaning, sweeping and mopping and dusting and all of that. But, your home, as I always say, it carries a spirit and it holds on to memories of things that have happened. So, if you've had difficult conversations or illness in the home or visitors or stressful periods, you need to consciously refresh the energy. So for this, you can open the windows, ring a bell, like a little, not a doorbell, like a little, I have one from Peru. It's just a little brass bell that I ring for clearing. You can clap into the corners, use an incense that you like. Try and use obviously a more natural one, not one with loads of chemicals in it. So use an incense or herbs that are culturally and personally meaningful. Please don't use incense or herbs that are like of a dying species where we're contributing to, the extinction of that plant. Like, please make sure that you do your research into that and get it from an ethical source. You can play uplifting music to the entrance of your home, especially music that is reflecting the version of yourself that you are becoming. And set a really clear intention for the energy you wish to cultivate. And with that, it's about also honoring the spirit of your home. So for me, like, that I love to work with the spirit of spaces. That's why I called this podcast The Spirit of Spaces. So this is where you get to really connect with the energy and the soul and the spirit of your space and your home and the front entrance and begin that relationship. So take the time to pause at your entrance, place your hand gently on the door, offer gratitude. You might say things like, thank you so much for being my safe shelter. Thank you for being my living temple. May this home always be a place of peace, of health, abundance, connection, joy, laughter, vitality, love, everything that you want to bring into your space. And may all who enter feel welcomed and all who leave feel supported. And this simple practice can really transform your relationship with your home. Think about it. Beyond the door is the rest of your living temple, the rest of your home. So, in classical feng shui, the quality of the chi entering your home is also influenced by what lies beyond your property boundary. So, we really want to get that front entrance beautifully created so that the energy is starting to move around your space. And from there, we can see where the energy is might be getting stuck in the rest of your home, where it's getting like where it needs moving, shifting, up leveling. I would also suggest outside your front door, you want to keep it quite symmetrical. So if you have a plant on one side of your door, I recommend you have a similar size plant on the other side of the door, especially if they're growing upwards to symbolize expansion and growth and prosperity. And I would also recommend having some kind of guardian outside of your front door. In many cultures, particularly in Chinese culture, they will have guardians, so dragons or you might want to have fairies or whatever feels appropriate for you, but you can do that in a statue in stone. You could have something small there, but as long as it's representative and it's symmetrical on either side, it's like these gatekeepers, these stewards of your home and your space and your land. So your front door is really more than just an entrance, okay? It really is the place where possibility arrives. It really is the mouth of chi, and every opportunity, every friendship, client, love, lover, partner, every season of your life crosses this threshold. So when you tend to that entrance with care, you are sending an energy, a frequency, not only to your home and to the world, but to yourself, that you are ready to receive what is meant for you. If you liked this episode today, I would really appreciate you giving it a review, sharing it on your social media, sending it to a friend that needs to hear this. It really helps to boost this podcast out into the world for anybody who needs to be hearing this, anybody who's on the precipice right now, anybody who's crossing a threshold, who's going through a moment in their life where they are letting go of the old and embracing a new version of themselves. And if you want to dive deeper into this, then you can come and have a one-to-one Radiance Reset energy space clearing session with me. This is like my psychic home healing session where I will tune specifically into the energy of your home. We always start at the front entrance. And I will see psychically and energetically what is going on in your space, where it's being blocked. I'll feel exactly what is going on, both within your home and within your life. And I will use light language activations to clear that for you. And then we will keep moving through your home and seeing where you're naturally drawn to, where the energy needs to be cleared to open up that space for the chi to flow so that you can leave the session with more clarity, more lightness in your being, more nourishment, more calm energy, feeling more rooted, more grounded, ready to take that next step in your life. You can also then have a full flying star feng shui report. This is my hearth and home flying star report where I do an exact energy reading of your entire house and using the Bagua map, using your floor plan, and then I can give you exact remedies that you need to place into different areas of your home to bring around more favorable chi and to get that energy flowing. And some of the results I've had from that have been absolutely incredible. I had a woman who just had a report done with me who lives in a very chaotic space. And she messaged me to say, since I put in the remedies you talked me over in my full report, my Flying Stars report, I've had the most calming, nourishing few weeks of my life. I feel calm in my space. The energy in my lounge feels different. I can't even explain it to you. She's like, I don't know what you did, but this is absolute magic. So the Flying Star report is very unique to you. It's bespoke to you. Nobody else will have the same report as you. I use the annual feng shui year, your house period year, the cardinal directions of your house, the gender of your house. And I look specifically at where the energy is unfavorable and where it's favorable and what we can do to enhance the good energy and what we need to do to weaken the bad energy and dissipate it out of the way so that you can call in, the opportunities, the clients, the wealth, the prosperity, the love, the juiciness, creativity that you desire into your life. I will post both of those into the show notes for you so that you can have a look at the links. If you're wanting to go on an even deeper journey right now, I'm offering a 3-month journey called Rooted and Radiant. This is for the woman who knows she is on that precipice of change and she wants a little bit more intimate one-to-one high-level touch connection with me. This is not a one-off radiance reset. This is not a one-off energy space clearing and not a one-off energy report. This is more of an ongoing container for you if you know that you are on the precipice of an identity level shift and you know that you have outgrown that version of yourself and you're ready for that next step but you just don't know how to start doing it. Within the 3 months of Rooted and Radiant, you will get energy space clearing. You will, in fact, you will get 2 energy space clearings, and I will work with you on identity level shifting, ancestral healing journeys. I will work with you on shifting some of the feng shui in your home. There is a whole range of things that we will do in those 3 months, and I will set you soul work in between your sessions so you can actually go and tangibly implement the actions that I give you so that you can start to take responsibility for being the steward of your home, your life, and your identity level shift. Again, I will post that link into the show notes. For now, as always, I am always rooting for your radiance.